Hi everyone, I'm Dan Lloyd and I race in the British Touring Car Championship, and in this video I'm going to explain to you how the hybrid system works in 2023 compared to 2022 and the reason why it should make our racing more exciting this season. So for those of you who don't know, British Touring Cars is the largest motorsport championship in the UK, and we're a little bit different to a lot of other championships because we have a handicap system. So the better you perform, the larger handicap you get. Traditionally, we used a ballast system where the driver's got weight in the car, but in 2022 we switched to the hybrid system where we have a certain amount of boost per lap. So in 2022 we were allowed to use the boost system when we reach 120 kilometers an hour on track, and that's when we press this hybrid button here on the steering wheel, and we could use the hybrid system in qualifying for a maximum of 15 seconds per lap. And then when we got into the races, we could only use the hybrid for a certain amount of laps from 120 kilometers per hour. So there were a few little complaints because of the change last year from some people of, okay, it's made the racing a little bit too close, it's not as effective as the ballast system. So quite a few changes have been made in 2023, so I'm going to try explain that to you. So basically, from P1 in the championship you've got the maximum amount of handicap, and then this goes down to P10 in the championship last year. This year it's from P1 to P7. So here I've got a championship table of what happened.
Stop. Wrong bit of paper.
What? Sorry about that. I don't know how that got there. 24/7 blind. So here I've got a championship table after the first round at Donington Park. So as you can see here, I'm using this so I remember as well, but Dan Camish is leading the championship at the moment. Dan Rowbottom is P7. Okay, at the first round of the season there's no handicap going in, it's a clean sheet, it's a fresh start, and the handicap system starts coming in from round 2, which is this weekend at Brands Hatch. So this weekend, as you can see, Dan Camish is leading the championship. So in qualifying he'll only be able to use 1 second per lap, down to seventh place where Dan Rowbottom will be able to use 11 seconds per lap. Everyone below that who doesn't have a handicap this weekend can use 15 seconds. The other big difference this year compared to last year is the speed of which when you can use the hybrid system changes depending on what position you're in. So try to keep up. So first place, they've upped this to 135 kilometers an hour from 120. When it goes down to the people without a handicap, we can use it from 115 kilometers per hour. So we can press that hybrid button 20 kilometers an hour before Dan Camish. The reason for this is that the sooner you press that hybrid button, the much more benefit you're going to get going down the straight. It gives you a bit of a kick. It's not like Fast and Furious where your neck goes back or anything like that. It gives you a little bit of a kick, but the sooner you use it, the better it is. So the first 3 drivers, 1 to 3, they're 135, 4 to 5 is 130, 6 to 7 is 125, and then after that it's 115. So that's qualifying, okay? Basically what this does, this is more extreme than 2022, so we should see a larger pace difference this year. So that's qualifying, okay? So in a race situation, basically it's a number of laps of what you're allowed to use is the handicap. So the guys who aren't handicapped can use the hybrid for 12 laps of 15 seconds per lap during the race. The top situation, Dan Camish can only use the hybrid for 5 laps during that race, but for 15 seconds. However, the rate of the speed of which they can put it on still remains the same as qualifying. So if I'm next to Dan Camish coming out of a corner and we both use a hybrid, but I get on it 20 kilometers an hour before him, I will have the greater advantage. So that's that, and then just to make it a little bit more complicated, in the wet setup, when we have rain, when we put it into the wet setup with a hybrid, basically all those kilometers per hour rules, basically we have to add on 20 seconds to that. So Dan Camish, who can't deploy to 135, If it's raining, put it in different hybrid mode. We've got different map setups here. We have to put it in map 2. This is how we deploy the hybrid, by pressing this hybrid button. He has to wait to 155 kilometers per hour, which can catch you out. It caught me out at Donington because you're using it at a certain place at the same point all weekend, and then at Donington, when it was wet on the Sunday, you go to press it, but we're not at that same speed, then it locks you out for 5 seconds. So it can screw you up quite badly if you're in a race with a car and you need it and you lock yourself out and someone else gets the run, then you're screwed basically. So it's not very straightforward. Hopefully I've explained it okay. If you found this interesting, informative, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, it'd be much appreciated. Racing at Brands Hatch this weekend. I'll be doing a vlog of how I get on throughout this weekend, which will be released next week. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. We're on ITV4 this Sunday. If you want to tune in, that'd be great. And see you next time.